A train came to run me over, and somehow I lived to tell the tale. My name is Kellen McClellan, and last summer, something super unexpected happened. Something so bad that I almost lost my life over it. It was a nice hot day in mid-July, and I had gone downtown to hang out with my homies at the town park. However, because it was so hot, the immense heat drained us of energy and excitement. We needed to find shade, and fast, before we felt the need to cut the hangout short and go back home. Luckily, my friend Julian knew just a spot that would give us a big enough adrenaline boost to make us hop back on our feet and feel less tired, and in our favor. The place also happened to be surrounded by trees on both sides, which would mean that we could escape the heat by residing in the trees' shadows temporarily. So, we headed to the train tracks from the park, and unsurprisingly, it was my friend Sam's first time with the train tracks, and on the way there, none of us told him where we were going, so it was also a surprise for him as well. Finally, when we reached the tracks, he stopped in his footsteps and told us he wasn't going near those since he was scared a train was going to come. But without knowing our near futures, we reassured him nothing of the sort would happen, and that we would be safe. For context, the trains were slightly elevated above the ground, and as we kept on going further, the higher they got, and the ground below us started to sink further and further away. At one point, when we were walking directly over the tracks, we had to cross a bridge, but the bridge had holes in it. If you know train tracks, they consist of two metal parallel bars extending throughout the track's length and wooden planks across the width of every foot or so for support. But on this bridge, that structure was the only thing built. Normally, train tracks built on the ground were filled because the ground peaked to the gaps of the wooden planks. But since there was no ground on the bridges, the gaps between the wooden planks were empty, and underneath the bridge about 15 feet, or so was a river. It was a fast stream, and had visible rocks as it wasn't super shallow. So if we fell, we would almost certainly break our bones for sure. However, I cautiously went over the bridge, stepping from wooden plank to wooden plank, and once we made it across the bridge, we continued moving forward until we reached a point far enough where we could feel the breeze. We stood here for a moment and enjoyed the shade and chill air, but soon I noticed that the weather around us had started to get foggier, and the air became slightly darker. It was about late afternoon, so I knew the sun would set soon, and I was happy the sun's light would be gone, and we would be spared the heat. But oh boy was I wrong, because what happened next changed everything. After the air became darker, suddenly, with no explanation, I felt a white light hitting on me, very dim and far away. So I told my friends. We then looked over and saw a parked construction truck on the train tracks, likely for repair of the tracks themselves, or for maintenance, and the guy said that we had nothing to worry about since the driver could probably see us in his light. But just a mere 2 minutes later, I felt kind of uneasy, and when I looked past my homies to the rest of the track in the direction of the white light, I saw the fog get lighter and lighter, and that's when I realized the light was coming toward us. Without hesitating at all, I yelled at the guys to get moving because a repair cart was moving towards us, getting faster and faster, and this time, they realized I was right and started running. Where we were, the ground was way too below the elevated platform the train was on, so we couldn't jump to the side, meaning we had to move forward and cross the bridge. In the bridge, I went as fast as I could, dodging the small holes and maintaining a good speed to outrun the train. When I reached the edge of the bridge, I saw the ground below was only a few feet from the elevated train track platform, so I jumped off, and the second I did, the repair cart sped past me, and I felt the wind coming from the high speed it was going at. If I had jumped a second late, I would have been a goner. Anyways, after this whole event, my friend Julian yelled in frustration, calling the driver an idiot and psycho, but not to the driver himself, but to us. He didn't want to get in trouble with an adult, even though this guy had tried to kill us, and so we went back to the beginning of the train track and back to the park, and the sky had gotten dark and colder. I still can't believe how I survived this, and I don't know why that guy tried coming full speed, maybe in anger that we were trespassing on the abandoned tracks, because he was drunk, or maybe he didn't see us. But whatever it was not okay, and he definitely could have stopped before he was about to hit us. And that's how